Imagine standing on a street corner in a city you've never visited. The air thick with the scent of charcoal, expensive butter, and a hint of secret spices that have been guarded for generations. You are about to embark on a journey across a landscape where food is not just sustenance, but a high-stakes art form and a multi-billion-dollar obsession. This is not just a list of places to eat, but a map to the absolute pinnacle of human craftsmanship, where getting a reservation is harder than getting into Harvard and where a single bite can change your perspective on what is possible. With fire and water, most people spend their lives eating to survive. But today, we are looking at the places where people go to feel truly alive, exploring the hallowed halls of culinary legends that define the American spirit. From the neon-lit streets of Manhattan to the sun-drenched valleys of California, we are counting down the absolute titans of the industry. We begin our descent into this world of luxury and flavor at number 10, where we find ourselves in the heart of a bustling metropolis at a place called Husk, located in Charleston. This is a temple dedicated entirely to the soul of the American South. But don't expect your grandmother's fried chicken unless your grandmother was a Michelin-starred chemist. The philosophy here is radical and uncompromising because if an ingredient didn't come from the South, it simply does not enter the kitchen. This creates a high-pressure environment where the menu changes daily based on what the earth provides, forcing the chefs to innovate on the fly. It is this tension between tradition and constant evolution that makes it a mandatory first stop on our journey. The wooden floors creak with history, yet the plates coming out of the kitchen look like they belong in a modern art gallery, blending the rustic with the refined in a way that sets the stage for the even greater heights we are about to climb. As we leave the warm, humid air of the South, we transition at number 9 to the sleek, high-octane energy of Bennu in San Francisco. Here, the narrative shifts from the earthiness of the soil to the precision of a laboratory. Corey Lee has created a space where Korean flavors are disassembled and reconstructed, with French technique resulting in dishes that look like delicate sculptures. There is a legendary 1,000-year-old egg served here that isn't actually ancient, but rather a testament to how science can mimic the passage of time through sheer culinary genius. The silence in the dining room is heavy with anticipation, and every movement of the staff is choreographed like a silent ballet. It is a masterclass in control, showing us that sometimes the most powerful flavors are the ones that are the most restrained. This level of technical perfection is rare, yet it serves as the perfect bridge to our next destination, where the focus shifts from the laboratory back to the primal power of the flame. Moving to number 8, we find ourselves at Franklin Barbecue in Austin, Texas, a place that proves you don't need white tablecloths to be world-class. People wake up before dawn and wait in line for hours, not for a fancy tasting menu, but for brisket that has been whispered to by smoke and fire for half a day. There is a deep, smoky mystery in how Aaron Franklin turns a tough piece of meat into something that melts like butter the moment it touches your tongue. This is the grit and the heart of American cooking, a raw and honest counterpoint to the precision we saw in San Francisco. The suspense here isn't in the presentation, but in the gamble of whether the meat will run out before you reach the front of the line. It is a shared pilgrimage, a communal experience of waiting and wanting that makes the eventual reward taste like victory. This gritty, smoke-filled reality reminds us that elite food is about passion, a passion that takes a different, more theatrical form as we move to our next spot. At number 7, the lights dim and the curtains rise at Burn's Steakhouse in Tampa, Florida. This isn't just a restaurant. It's a sprawling, crimson-colored labyrinth that houses one of the largest wine cellars on the planet. Walking through these doors is like stepping back into a gilded, age-fevered dream where every steak is aged to the exact second of perfection. The secret here lies beneath your feet, in the miles of shelving holding bottles that have survived world wars and depressions. The transition from the outdoor barbecue pits of Texas to this opulent, old-world fortress shows the sheer diversity of the American palate. At Burn's, the meal is an endurance sport, ending in a completely separate, upstairs room dedicated entirely to dessert and private booths made from old wine casks. It is a place of excess and history, setting a bar for longevity that few can match. But as we head north, we see how modern legends are being written in real time. Number 6 brings us to the urban heartbeat of New York City and the legendary Le Bernardin. If the previous stop was about the weight of history and red meat, this is about the lightness of the sea and the absolute mastery of fish. Chef Eric Reipert treats seafood with a level of reverence that borders on the religious, categorizing his menu by how much the fish has been touched by heat. It is a serene blue-toned sanctuary where the chaos of Times Square disappears the moment the doors close. The logic here is flawless. The fresher the ingredient, the less you should do to it. Yet what they do is nothing short of miraculous. Every plate is a study in balance, a quiet conversation between the ocean and the chef. This elegance is a necessary breath of air before we plunge into the more experimental and daring waters of the top 5, where the rules of dining begin to break down entirely. Breaking into the top 5, we arrive at Alinea in Chicago, a place that functions more like a theater of the mind than a traditional eatery. Here, Grant Achatz doesn't just feed you, he challenges your perception of reality. You might find yourself eating a balloon made of green apple that actually floats, or watching a chef paint your dessert directly onto the table like a Jackson Pollock masterpiece. There is a sense of danger and excitement. Here, because you never know what is edible and what is a prop. It is a high-wire act of molecular gastronomy that pushes the boundaries of what a restaurant can be. This is where the narrative of our journey turns from dinner into experience, a shift that prepares us for the deep, soulful perfection of our next contender. At number 4, we travel to the rolling hills of Napa Valley to enter the hallowed grounds of the French Laundry. Thomas Keller has created what many consider the definitive American restaurant, housed in a quiet stone cottage that looks deceptively humble. Inside, however, is a relentless pursuit of the point of vanishing. Excellence, where no ingredient is ever repeated in a single meal. The suspense here is in the storytelling of the ingredients, the butter from a specific farm, the salt from a specific sea. It is a place that demands your full attention, a slow-motion explosion of flavor that feels both timeless and cutting-edge. The connection between the garden outside and the plate in front of you is seamless, creating a harmony that feels almost impossible to sustain. Yet they have done it for decades. The bronze medal at number 3 goes to Blue Hill at Stone Barns, located on a working farm in New York. This is where the farm-to-table movement reaches its ultimate conclusion. There are no menus here. You are simply served what the farm yielded that morning. It is a suspenseful way to dine, putting your entire evening in the hands of the weather and the soil. You might be served a single, perfect carrot that tastes more like a carrot than anything you've ever had, or a piece of bread made from a grain that was brought back from the brink of extinction. It is a radical return to the roots of humanity, proving that the greatest secrets of life are often buried in the dirt. This raw connection to the earth sets the stage for the peak of urban sophistication. At number 2, we return to the skyline of Manhattan. For per se, this is the urban twin to the French Laundry, but with a view that overlooks Central Park, reminding you that you are at the center of the world. The level of service here is so precise it feels supernatural, as if the waiters can read your mind before you even speak. The food is a relentless parade of perfection, each dish a tiny, flawless jewel of technique. It is the pinnacle of the grand restaurant era, a place where every detail, from the fold of the napkin to the temperature of the water, has been obsessed over by a small army of professionals. It is almost the perfect restaurant, save for one place that managed to capture the world's imagination even more. Finally, at number 1, we reach the summit. 11 Madison Park, this New York icon, shocked the world by stripping away meat and becoming entirely plant-based, a move that many thought was professional suicide. Instead, it became a revelation. They have managed to take the humble vegetable and elevate it to a level of luxury that rivaled the finest caviar and truffles. It is a story of reinvention, courage, and the belief that the future of food lies in the beauty of nature. To eat here is to see the world through a new lens, where every bite is a testament to the fact that the most incredible secrets are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for a master to reveal them. This is the heartbeat of the American culinary dream, a journey that started in the soil and ended in a revolution of the senses.